It was a normal night. A comet was passing in the sky. It was supposed to be a natural phenomenon, but things got weirder afterwards. Em was getting ready to call her boyfriend Kevin, but her phone suddenly lost signal. Even stranger, her phone screen cracked. She lost contact with Kevin. Em didn't know that her relationship with Kevin was not as happy as she imagined. The party started. They ate and chatted. They soon realized that their phones had no signal. They believed that there must be a malfunction at the nearest base station, but Em, who was next to him, had her own idea. She told a story about a woman who called the police and said that the person in her house was not her husband. Then the police said, "That's your husband." She said, "No, this is not my husband. She killed her husband yesterday." That's what she knew. They couldn't catch her because he was standing in front of them and alive. Then in their conversation, the house owner Mike asked Lori about her yoga teacher. "How is she?" Lori said that she was busy with an expansion project in Silicon Valley. Then the atmosphere in the place became awkward. She tried to ease the mood by asking about Mike's job. Mike said that he was an actor and he played in a very popular movie. Lori was very surprised. She didn't know who Mike played as. She remembered Em's story earlier about the comet. By combining their current situation, she realized that there was a distortion of space. There were people among them who came from a parallel world. They quickly ended this awkward conversation. Em talked about herself. She felt that her relationship and work were very bad. She also felt that she had lost many opportunities. Not long after, the house suddenly lost power. Mike quickly took a blue light stick. They left the house with the light stick. They found that the entire block was out of power, and they saw that there was only one house that was still lit. They could only go back to the house and wait for the power to come back. But a broken glass on the table caught their attention. What they didn't realize was that the house they returned to was not their original house. Next, they had to experience more things that didn't make sense. Hugh's brother, who was a physicist, told him that if something strange happened when the comet passed, he would call him. What they knew was that their phones now had no signal. Hugh decided to go with Amir to the house that was still lit. If the owner of the house was there, they could contact his brother. 10 minutes after they left, there was a sudden knock on the door. Kevin found that there was no one outside. At their request, Kevin went to the basement to turn on the generator. As soon as the power came back, Hugh and Amir quickly returned to the room. But Hugh, who came back, had a wounded head. Strangely, they both brought a box. Amir said it was the box that Hugh left behind, but Hugh denied it. Curiously, they opened the box. Inside there was a ping pong paddle and a picture of them 8. And behind the photos, there were different numbers. They wanted to know what they found in the room. They saw a table with glasses, perfume, and dinner. And they were 8. Hugh decided to go again to answer the phone. This time he wrote a note. If the room was empty, he would stick the note on the door. Suddenly, there was a sound from outside. Kevin, who opened the door, found a note, and the contents were exactly the same as what Hugh wrote. Em used a red pen to write down the numbers on the photos. They wanted to find clues in the photos. Some suggested they should go to the bright room. Like that, Em and the others quickly approached the bright room. Even the furniture in the room was exactly the same. All this made them very shocked. They decided to leave immediately. At the corner of the street, they met 4 other people who looked like them. They quickly returned to the room, but what they said could not be believed by the people inside. At that time, Hugh's wife, Beth, remembered something. Hugh's brother had a book. He put it in the trunk of his car. Maybe in the book there was an answer they were looking for. Hugh quickly took the book. He explained to them what Schrodinger's cat and quantum coherence were, and now they were experiencing it all. They were now truly in a parallel space. And there were many parallel spaces. Their theory about 2 parallel spaces they knew was wrong. On the night the comet came, there were many parallel spaces that overlapped. Every move they made could switch to several parallel worlds. At that time, some changed their minds. Some thought they should kill the people in the parallel space. Some thought they should wait until everything returned to normal. There were also those who thought there was something dangerous in their water. Hugh and Amir soon realized that their light sticks were red. They just realized that they did not come from this parallel world. Because now in the room, their light sticks were all blue. They prepared to leave from here. And they brought the notebook there. They just realized that they came from another parallel world. Everyone there was too. Not long after, the room went dark again. Then there was a sound of glass breaking from outside. They went outside. What they did not know was who did this. Seeing the situation in front of them, they could only check their own car. Em took her ring when checking. The ring was a gift from her boyfriend Kevin. With curiosity and confusion, they returned to the room. Meanwhile, Amir and Hugh also returned to the room. It turned out they brought the same blue light sticks. After repeating, they realized that everyone had another self. That's why they could get lost. To avoid mistakes, they used the method suggested by Hugh. They wrote numbers on the back of their photos. If their selves from another time and space used the same method, the number on the photo might not be the same. Amir suggested choosing a random item. The item and their photos were put into a box. Then they put the box in front of the door. If there was a person switch, they had to go back to the room and open the box. They would know if they were wrong or not. Amir's suggestion made them relieved, but Em once again found something strange. She saw that the writing on her hand turned green. She could adjust to it. It meant that she came from a different house. Everyone came from the third house except Hugh. Hugh had just shown his phone. The phone was not broken. She felt that if anyone passed through the dark road, they were like going through a roulette. They would enter a different parallel world, and they would not return to the house they had just left. At that time, someone suddenly slipped a piece of paper from outside the door. The contents of the paper were very shocking. Mike from another time and space revealed that he and Beth had an affair. Hugh, who knew the truth, was very angry. Mike also doubted Hugh's identity. It turned out that Hugh now came from another time and space. He asked about the random object in the box. The bad thing was that their items were almost all different. Almost everyone came from a different time and space. Among them who were confused, only Em remained calm. As Mike said, in one of the worlds there was another version of them with an evil side. If they assumed that they were the dark side, what would happen? Em seemed to realize something. She quietly left the room. She went outside and saw many rooms. In each room there was a different life. Everyone in the room had different emotions. Some were happy, some were angry, some were arguing. But everyone could not return to the original time and space. So the next happiness had to be fought for by themselves. She then found another room and stopped in front of it. The life in the room was the life she wanted. Em took a baseball bat and broke Hugh's car window. The sound of glass breaking attracted everyone's attention. As before, everyone checked their own cars. Em took advantage of this opportunity to hit her other self. Then she confidently returned to the room. She liked the life in this time and space. The life in this time and space was what she wanted. Not long after, they left the house to see the comet. Em, who was there, could only hide the truth. After taking care of everything, she hid Em's body in the bathroom. She came out of the bathroom and fainted. When she woke up again, it was the next morning. Everyone was busy with their own affairs. The strange thing was that the body of Em's other self in the house disappeared without a trace. Em left the house and saw that everything was back to normal. But then Kevin was called by the phone of Em's other self, and Kevin finally realized that Em in front of him was not the Em he knew. And the movie ends. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. Because by subscribing, you have supported me to make better videos. See you in the next video.